Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review this new horror film, Roadhead. And this is from director David Del Rio, who is an actor who is in Pitch Perfect, The Belko Experiment, Grease Live, and recently a California Christmas, which I did recognize him when I looked him up. It's like, oh, I've seen him before. And this film focuses on three friends who are all on a road trip through the Mojave Desert, and all of a sudden they find a figure with a hood and chainmail and a giant sword coming after them, this headhunter, and comes in and starts terrorizing them throughout the desert. And this film is interesting. It definitely has a comedic approach to things, this dark comedy kind of approach. It's, in the vein of the Sam Raimis of the world, where it's like, not only are you going to deliver some horror, but we're going to have some fun with it too. And that's good and all, except this is a strange film. Trying to figure out and read this film and what it's really trying to say. And you have these three friends. You have Stephanie, played by Elizabeth Grulon, who has gone through a breakup recently, and she's like hallucinating, seeing her ex who's communicating with her. You have Alex, played by Damian Joseph Quinn, who is one half of a gay couple. He plays Roy Cohn in The United States versus Billie Holiday. And you also have, Clayton Farris, who plays Brian, who's the other half of this couple, and they're off in their van and they're having strange relationship conversations and friendship conversations. Not gonna lie, they're not the most likable, interesting of characters, and you definitely get to spend a lot of time with them processing relationship things and finding themselves. And in the end, I feel like a big part of the themes of this film are those exact things, and them trying to figure these out throughout this traumatic journey, being chased by this like big hulking muscular dude played by Adam Nemeth, who is the executioner, who is part of this strange cult of weird white dudes out in the middle of the desert doing weird freaky things to people. And you have this story over the course of an hour and 24 minutes, which, it still drags. The pacing isn't the greatest. There definitely is some fun to be had in this film, but you really wonder, they cut off people's heads and they have, the fake heads there, and they look like paper mache painted looking faces, which is lovely and strange. And you just sit there thinking through this film of all the different things that they could have been going with and focusing on, but it does get repetitive after a little while until it finally shifts gears about, halfway into the film, where it starts showing that, this is a bigger thing than just this group of these people, this small group being chased by this one particular dude with a sword. And a lot of Roadhead happens in this film, and you're like, is this why they're being targeted? And they never really go into that, except maybe a side explanation at some point later in the film. But basically, it felt like it's trying to push that old trope of if you do sexual things, you're going to die in a horror film. And it's so weird in that way. And this film had some ideas and had some interesting things it was going for. But, in the end, it's just so weird. I feel like this ending is not very satisfying. Thematically it might be, and character processing wise, them processing their own decisions in their life, maybe. But from specifically for this narrative that's built up throughout this whole film, it's I don't know how fulfilled I feel at the end of this film. I felt kind of disappointed in how this ended and this journey it took us on. And it gets weird. It definitely gets weird. And this film might be just a little too weird and too out there for a lot of people. I still had some fun with it. I'm not going to say that I love this film or think this is a good film. I think it has a lot of problems, it has a lot of fun ideas, and it kind of does its best to try to meet itself somewhere in the middle and deliver something worthwhile. I think this film is going to leave most lacking, but if you're a big horror fan, you might just have enough fun with this and not think too deeply into how a lot of these things don't make sense. But those are my thoughts on Roadhead. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.